How's it going, guys? Welcome back to TheBlueShifting and welcome back to the House of Fata Morgana, and welcome to the attempt to understand Mell's story and ultimately get the key from him. Unfortunately, we've come to the point in the story where things are going to go real bad, because up until now, we've pretty much seen how Mell and his sister ended up where they were. They were noble people, but with a change of matriarchy in the house, they were kind of exiled. It didn't go so well, and then Nellie kept getting sick, and he thought that Morgana's blood was healing her, but it wasn't permanent, and they kept having problems, and it just kept getting worse. And he also started becoming afraid of Morgana the more that he got to know her. It wasn't actually the scars, it wasn't actually like her appearance in any way. He seemed pretty taken with her as like a friend at the very least, but when he starts the ceremonies with the blood, that kind of freaked him out. And now something's about to change, and this change is going to be what brings about the end. So I'm not looking forward to it, but let's just jump in and do our best. One of those draining days, someone knocked on the door. I hadn't asked Morgana to come down that day, so I wasn't sure who it could be. Nellie was asleep in her bed, so I quietly rose from my seat and made my way to the door, trying not to wake her. Who is it? Hello? Who's there? I had an inkling of a suspicion, but having been raised in such a sheltered environment, I didn't understand exactly how dangerous it was to thoughtlessly open the door to anyone who came knocking. I pulled the door inward a couple of inches and tried to take a peek through the crack. Huh. When out of nowhere, someone grabbed my shoulder and shoved me, helpless to resist, into the house. A man stood there above me. Yeah, he's a beast. What? What do you think you're doing? What do you want from me? I don't have anything valuable. I'm just a regular old peasant. I'm not here to rob you. What? You're in contact with the witch, aren't you? Are you not? Huh? The girl who lives by the lake calls herself a witch. Oops. Drops it. Sorry. Witch? I don't know any witch. The only one who lives there is a saint. A saint? I was told she was a witch. But regardless, there's a girl who lives there with miracle blood, no? Looks like I've got the right person. What do you want from me? I want you to help me. Huh? I need you to lure the witch out into the open. And why do you need that? Because I need her blood. I need to get my hands on the witch's miracle blood. Then go ask her for it yourself. Why should I have to help you? She won't open the door for me. But you, I've seen you talking to her. You seem to be quite friendly with the witch. Taking little walks around the lake. How? I need your help. And what are you going to do once you have her outside? I have orders from the Lord to take her captive. What? The Lord? Why would he? That is none of your concern. You expect me to buy that? All I need from you is to get the witch out of that house. Why would I? She doesn't trust me. I could always force my way in, but there's a chance something might go wrong, and I can't risk that. If she hears your voice, she'll open the door, yes? The witch trusts you, unlike me. With your help, there's no risk of anything going wrong. Excuse me. No, You barged in here and tell me you want to capture her, and you think I'm just going to agree to help? Like hell I will. Oh, don't worry. You'll get your share. You need the witch's blood too, right? I don't care about getting a share. You're asking me to deceive her. I don't care what you think she is. Hasn't done anything wrong, so no, I won't help you capture her. You leave me no choice then. What? He approached the bed where Nellie slept, drawing his sword and pressing the tip against her throat. It happened so quickly, and without any warning, my mind couldn't keep up. I stood there, mouth half open like an idiot. If I were courageous, if I were gallant and brave, then maybe I would have grabbed him and pulled him away from Nellie. I'm really going to be curious to see how we can find the pitiable side to the Beast and to Jacopo, or whatever he is called, the Lord. Because they seem detestable. Mell at least does seem like he just gets caught up in something much bigger than he is. But my legs seemed to be severed from my mind. They were frozen to the floor like two useless rocks. You have two options. Excuse me, I don't know where that came from. Either you say no and protect the witch. Get away. Or you help me capture her. Get away from her right now. And if you choose the witch, I kill the girl. Get away! Make your decision. Get away from her! You have until the count of 10. If you don't choose, I kill the girl. 10, 9, 8, 7. 6, 5. Okay, I'll do it. I'll help you. Just get your sword out of her face. Don't kill her. I thought you'd hold out until the last second. Well, what are you waiting for? Let's get going. Poor Mell. Get moving. You pitiful little boy. I felt like jumping into the lake. I couldn't make sense of how I'd end up in such a position. Just a few months earlier, I'd been living back at my family's estate, hardly a worry in the world. Nellie had been healthy and happy. It hadn't been exciting, no, but I had figured that was how things would always be. The one day I would fall for some noble girl, Nellie would get jealous, and I'd have to spend several days or even weeks pacifying her. Everyone would be happy, a life free of troubles. Because that was normal, and I was normal. So what was I doing living in some tiny cottage so far from home? Feeding my sick sister miracle blood. I don't get it. I don't feel tired. I'm just yawning. What was I doing walking beside this barbarian? What was I doing at all? I was conflicted. Part of me hoped it would never arrive at the lake. And part of me wanted to get there as quickly as possible so I could be done with all of this. But time plodded on no quicker or slower than normal. And we arrived at Morgana's door in short order, irrespective of my own selfish hopes. The thought of what was going to happen next filled me with a crushing sense of guilt. I may have been afraid of Morgana, but I had no grudge against her. I was actually quite grateful to her. She was still healing Nellie, even if the ceremony to do so inspired fear in me. She didn't hesitate to cut her own wrist open for Nellie and me. She didn't grimace or even frown, though I knew I had to hurt. I knew darn well she wasn't a bad person, that she hadn't done anything to warrant being taken into custody. She might very well have been a genuine saint, but there I was selling her out because a man with a sword threatened me. Oh, Father, who art in heaven, please forgive me for what I'm about to do. Please, please forgive me. Quit sniveling. You want her to get suspicious? But how? I can't, please, oh God. Stop crying. Or would you rather I kill you here? Just close your eyes. It'll be over before you know it. Man, poor Mell. What did he even end up doing with her arm when he gets it? Do it. Call on the witch. Who's there? It's me. I'm not here. I found Nellie today. I'm sorry for being so distant lately. I want to talk things over. I thought I could hear a faint gasp through the door, and then she responded. I want to talk to you too. Why? Why did she have to want to talk to me now? She had always been so curt, so rational, so quick to cut down my fantasies. Never one to get emotional or sentimental. She had always given off the impression of being something greater than we mere humans. Always being so aloof, never giving any indication she thought anything of me at all. So why? Why did she sound like a normal girl now? Why was her voice trembling slightly when she said she wanted to talk? Why now of all times? This really sucks. Poor Morgana. I mean, I can't even imagine. Can you imagine what it would be like to lose a limb? Like, good grief. Especially, like, it's one thing to be, like, a soldier or something and know that, like, the risk is there, that something could happen. But she was blindsided. Get back. No, stay away from me. No. Help. Don't kill me. Take it. What? That's your share. Should last you long enough. Gah. Why? Why did you take my arm? Why? What do you mean to share? Poor Mell. Poor Morgana. Poor everybody. Dang. Why? It all happened in less than a minute. I told her I wanted to talk. She opened the door. Then I heard a sound like the wind whispering past my ear. The next thing I knew, our cottage was covered in blood. Never once did I expect anything to happen how it did. When he'd said he wanted to capture her, I took it to mean exactly that. I hadn't thought it would turn brutal. That he would do something so horrific. After the man cut her arm off, Morgana tumbled to the floor, floundering about as he watched, blood trickling down the curved blade in his hand. Her screams were indistinguishable from those of a normal person. Man, Mell. He just ran and threw up and ran. Her arm. Kneeling in the grass of the lakeshore, I vomited and vomited and I vomited. The thing I'd seen in the cabin was too much for me to handle. I tossed the arm, Morgana's arm, the man had given me, into the lake. What else was I supposed to do with it? It was an arm! A human arm! He wouldn't have been insane to go around carrying someone's severed arm. I tried to convince myself it was all a dream, some terrible nightmare, but I could still feel the warmth of her skin fresh on my hands. Oh my gosh. The warmth of her blood on my fingers, dragging me back to reality. My gosh. My mind couldn't keep up with the flood of thoughts and emotions and images. I wanted to close my eyes, but I was too afraid I would find the bloodbath in the cottage on the back of my eyelids, which left me with nothing to do but wail. I was horrified at what I'd done. That I knew I was the one who'd set it all in motion. If I'd kept quiet, Morgana wouldn't have had her arm cut off. But I didn't want to admit it my fault. I didn't want to accept that I had caused it. I did nothing wrong. It's not my fault. He threatened me. It's not my fault. I had no choice. I didn't do anything. I frantically scrubbed the blood-soaked clothes in the lake. As I watched the red cloud spread, I knew I was defiling something pure and beautiful, but my awareness of the fact was slowly dissipating like the blood through the clear water. By the time I'd gotten all the blood off my clothes, the sun was beginning to set. I came back to my senses at the sound of a bird chirping, and quickly recalled that I had left Nellie alone at the house. My legs were shaking, I could barely keep myself upright, but remembering her gave me a motivation to drag myself back home. If she hadn't been there waiting for me, I seriously might have thrown myself into the lake instead. Mell? What's the matter, dearest Mell? Where have you been? Mell? I'm so sorry. What? I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. Will you ever be able to forgive me? Dearest Mell? I never meant for this to happen. I'm so sorry, please. I'm begging you to forgive me. I'm begging you. Were you not able to get my medicine? Is that why you're crying about? It's not that big a deal, Mell. I'm just fine, honest. I'm alright. Thanks. I wanted to forget everything. I wanted to forget about my involvement, about the horrible things I caused to happen. But whenever I lay down to go to sleep, I heard their screams, Morgana's animalistic howls. I saw her cottage, blood splattered everywhere, felt her severed arm still warm in my hands. From that day on, what sleep I got was hardly restful. Nellie probably didn't notice anything through her feverish haze, but I'm willing to bet I looked like hell. Praying time would just cause the memory to fade, I started looking for doctors again. Instead of clinging to a miracle, I would try having Nellie's sickness cured the way normal people did. At some point though, all the money I'd been given started running low. If I had thought about it for 2 seconds, I would have seen it coming. I hadn't exactly been frugal in my attempts to find a cure for Nellie, nor had I been especially concerned about the money before she fell ill. I was so used to living like an aristocrat, I hadn't succeeded in breaking those old habits. It's deadly. Which left me with only one thing I could do for Nellie. Be with her day in and day out. Every day had passed, I lost a little more hope. If I couldn't do anything and Nellie died, I would be utterly alone. And that was what scared me more than anything. The nightmares were eating away at me, leaving me with nowhere to run. And if I didn't have someone there with me, I wouldn't be able to hold myself together. After 3 or so days, I'd be sitting by Nellie's bedside, hardly moving. There was a knock on the door. Who's there? Who is it? Open the door, unless you want me to kick it down. My suspicion was correct. I couldn't think of anyone else who would come to visit. But what I didn't know was why he'd come back. I don't want anything to do with you anymore. Open the door. Leave me alone, please. I want nothing more to do with what you're doing. Open the door. No, I'm not letting you in for any reason. Okay then, I'll break it down. Don't. My sister's inside sleeping. I don't need you waking her up. Then open it. What do you need? I did it, everything you asked me to already. What happened to the witch's arm? I threw it away. You really think I was gonna keep that? A person's arm? Mell, what's going on? Do we have a visitor? Nellie, I should get them something to drink. Don't worry about it, Nellie. You get some sleep, alright? Can we go outside? I'd really rather not talk in here. Fine by me. So that's your sister. Explains why you look so much alike. That's none of your business. You wanted the miracle blood to cure your sick sister, do you not? And you're telling me you threw the arm away? God. Are you interested in getting more blood? What? We're taking the witch's blood, turning it into a medicine, and selling it through the church. Selling it? You're doing business in a house of worship. No. I suppose we're giving it away. But we're asking for tithes, so really it's the same thing. I'm not from this land, so to me it looks no different than a business. But the people here, they see it as charity. The Lord says if you'll assist us, he'll provide you with medicine we're making. The Lord? Why would the Lord be... Heck if I know. Because it seems like good money. So, will you help us? You're gonna make me get my hands dirty for you again. I can't! No, not again! Oh, right. I forgot to mention one detail. You don't have a choice this time. Huh? You know about the miracle blood, which means we can't let you go unattended. If you say no, I have permission from the Lord to kill you on the spot. Why? So, will you help us? No, I just want to die, abandon my sister. Or will you die here? What was the right thing for me to do then? Should I have fought back and died? Should I have tried to run? Should I have taken my own life? I'm not sure you've heard enough to know by now that I'm a weakling, a pushover. I didn't have the spine to do anything but agree to meet with the Lord. He told me about the mansion, gave me one of the set of 3 keys. I wanted so badly to get rid of the key, but with that man's shadow constantly hanging over me, I couldn't bring myself to do it. Not when it could be the next one to end up losing a limb or 2. There was no way I could have disobeyed them. And that's everything that happened 6 months ago. Every day since I arrived here, I brought Morgana breakfast and supper. She doesn't say anything, but I saw in her eyes the first time I stepped through the door. How could you do that to me? I'd never looked her in the eyes since, because I'm too afraid of what I might see in them. You better. And that is how I ended up here. So, he was threatened. He didn't actually want to cause Morgana harm. That doesn't excuse what he's done, though. See, what did I tell you? I'm not at all the brother you thought I was. Mock me, ridicule me, call me worthless, coward, terrible person. Go on. What are you waiting for? But you were threatened, Mell. He said he would hurt me, hurt you. That's the only reason you went along with him. You didn't do anything wrong, dearest Mell. The other man's the bad guy, not you. You did the best you could. You didn't have a choice. That terrible man forced you to do everything. Nellie. You didn't do anything wrong, dearest Mell. No, I didn't. I didn't do anything wrong. I had no other choice. That's not true. All you're doing is closing your eyes. What? You mustn't coddle yourself. What was I supposed to do then? Don't be mean to my Mell. Did you really do the best you could? Did you even once try to do something about the situation as hopeless as it might have seemed? Could you not even conceive of any other options? Could you not even come up with something else to say at Morgana's house? Something that might have given even her the slightest clue she was in danger? But when she opened the door, did you do anything? Did you even as much as attempt to stop him? My legs were shaking so bad, I couldn't move. There was no way I could have stopped him. Then at the very least you should have fled. Shouldn't have fled. You should have stayed and told her the truth. That you weren't there willingly. That maybe she wouldn't have felt so utterly betrayed. But he was there. You think I could have actually stayed there with him? Not a chance. And it's not like Morgana would have... She opened the door because she trusted you. She isn't the easiest person to read, but she was opening up to you. And what you did with that, what did you do with that trust? Stop it. Please, you've made your point. It's not like Mell's fault either. If anything, he's a victim. He was just trying to protect me. Were you listening to anything he said, Nellie? You were not Mell's first priority. He did what he did for his own sake. Well, what did you expect me to do? Pull courage I don't have out of thin air? What's so wrong with self-preservation? There's nothing I could have done to stop him. I'd love to see you try and do any better. Then maybe you'll understand how scared I was, how little I could have done. Must be nice to be an outsider, talk about experiences like you know anything, analyze my decisions. Go on, tell me what I should have done. You don't have a darn clue what was terrifying it was. How I felt having to go through it. Oh yeah, you're right. It would have been courageous to sacrifice your life for someone else. But you know what? People like that only exist in stories. Except you don't actually understand that. You just want to give me crap for not being perfect. Do you want my pity? Is that all you want? If I tell you I feel bad for you, I know how hard it must have been, will that satisfy you? Do you not want to know what you can do now? What's even left to do? Nothing I do is going to make her situation any better. I won't make her arm come back. All's not yet lost. Open your eyes. Take a good look. Long look inside yourself. Think about what you can do. Stop sitting on your hands telling yourself it's too late. There's still time to make a difference. You just have to commit to act. I don't think you're an especially bad or cowardly person. I think you're an ordinary young man. It might sound like I'm telling you to do the impossible. But soon the time will come where you must make your choice. When you must stand up and take some responsibility for what you've done. No one's childhood lasts forever. The good days are long behind you before you ever realize they've passed. When faced with the consequences of your actions, you should not have to turn and run, but hold yourself accountable. It is perhaps a disproportionately large burden for you to bear, but it's fast approaching. And you need to make a decision. Find your courage. Set Morgana free. Mell. Mell? But even if I open the door for her, it's a little too late. She'll never forgive me after. Is her forgiveness the reason you should act? No, it's penance for what you've done to her. Atonement for your sins. Whether she forgives you or not is beside the point. The question on the table right now is whether you're going to do the right thing. And what about her blood? Without Saint's blood, Nellie won't... You don't have to worry about me, dearest Mell. My life isn't so important that I want to take someone else's life away to keep it. I'll think about what I can do to help too. It's partially my fault after all. So please, Mell, set the Saintess free. Your quiet life is built on a foundation of lies. And I know that by now you've realized there's no real value in a life like that. You want to do something about this. You sought salvation. Salvation? But who would give it to me? I already told you I would. But why? Because I promised you. And you expect me to believe that? Yes. If you choose to sit here and wallow in regret, there's no going back. Now is your only chance to make a change. Mell. God. Alright. I'll help. I'll help you set her free. Dearest Mell. I knew all along that that's what I needed to do. But I could never bring myself to act on it. There was no way I could accomplish anything alone. I'm basically helpless on my own. Everything about this is so completely outside anything I've ever had to deal with before. So I had no way of having any idea what I was supposed to do about it. God can be pretty cruel. Why would he force a boy like me to make such a difficult choice? Yes, he can be. You were made to be part of a more normal and less tumultuous world. But you've come too far to go back to that. So the least you can do is change the world you're in now. Yeah. I doubt I'll need to remind you, but you know you can't get in with only my key. You need all three, and the other two. They don't feel an ounce of remorse. Taking their keys won't be easy. Easy or not, I have to get them. And I'm sure there's a way. There must be. Just so we're clear, you're not going to overpower them. The guy with the sword's much stronger than you, and he knows how to use a blade. And he's the Lord's bodyguard, so you're not getting near the Lord either. Even the two of us together couldn't stand a chance against him. You seem pretty weak from the look of you. Who knows, maybe I am stronger than you. God, I really do want to hit this boy. Deep breaths, Michelle. Deep breaths. There must be some way we can get their keys. I know they both have people they're close to. Huh? People they're close to? We can talk about that later. Now that you've made your decision, talking with me isn't your top priority, is it? Mell? Nellie. I'm sorry for involving you in all this. And I'm really sorry for being, well, what I am. I'm no prince, that's for sure. You always were my prince, though, dearest Mell. You did your best to be your brother I wanted you to be. Honestly, I adored the way you fought over me. All that affection just felt so good. What? It made me feel like I was special, important. Having someone to care for, pamper, it was empowering. It's the kind of guy your brother is. If someone else, some other girl were ever to show up and call me her prince and say she loved me, I would probably try and act like a prince for her too. Why would you say that? Because all this, it's been so hard on me, such a huge weight on my shoulders, that every so often I would think just how much easier it would be if I could get rid of her. If Morgana was just a regular girl, not a saint or a witch or any of that, just a pretty girl about my age, she might have been the one getting my attention instead of you. That's who I am. That's not you, dearest Mell. You're just beating yourself up. Maybe you would have chosen her over me, and that wouldn't make you any less of a kind man. How can you say that after everything I just told you? Because, Mell, Tell me how despicable I am, Nellie. I'm not the brother you once adored, am I? You're not what I thought you were, but you're still my one and only brother. That will never change, no matter what kind of person you become. It was wrong of me to make you my prince, Mell. I should have done my job as your one and only sister in the whole wide world, been there to help you as much as you helped me. I kept pushing my fairy tale fantasies onto you. And you did your best to live up to them, and they ended up forcing you to pretend to be someone you're not. That's not true, Nellie. I enjoyed feeling idolized. But you knew it couldn't last forever, didn't you? I should have been there beside you, not looking up at you. I let you coddle me. I let myself indulge in your love. I thought everything would be alright as long as you kept telling me how adorable I was. They were like magic words to me. I kept my eyes shut. Mell, starting today, I'm going to do my best to be your sister. I'm all done holding your fairy tale ideas. I won't make you pretend to be a prince for me anymore. And I won't try to be a princess either. I'm just going to be your little sister. So get back on your feet. Stand tall, dearest Mell. I know you'll probably have to pay for what you've done with the Saintess Goes Free. And I know you'll probably cry about it for days. But I won't regret making the decision. Huh. Well, I don't know what to say. I wasn't expecting you to handle this so maturely. You're putting your big brother to shame, Nellie. Mother once told me that girls grow up faster than boys. She's right about that. Thank you, Nellie, for accepting me in spite of the awful things I've done. And for having me as your brother. You're quite welcome, dearest Mell. Fetch. Well, looks like that's one problem solved. They finally reached the point of their relationship where they belong. If she could have come to terms with herself sooner, come to an understanding with him, then maybe she could have revealed her ideals before she lost control of them. Yeah, maybe. This Nellie and the other Nellie seem to be of the same essence. They both have a somewhat excessive love for their brothers. And that love expressed itself by transforming him into a prince. If she could have done the same things she did then as she did here, then maybe the tragedy could have been avoided. This is before then, though. Since they were able to fix things up in this life, maybe it'll have a positive effect in their next life. This could change the future. They may share the same souls, but they lived in completely different times. Do you really think something like that could have an effect on lives of people hundreds of years from now? There's no way to be certain, of course. But considering how tightly the two seem to be bound, I doubt it will have no effect. I love the music, man. I hope it has some effect. Giselle. I was there in the mansion as it all happened, and I just stood by and watched. I felt so guilty about that. If I'd done something, maybe it would have turned out differently. It wouldn't have turned out like that. I hate what I was then, what I was until just recently. From the memories left imprinted throughout the mansion, I showed you bits and pieces of their lives. And as I told you their tale, the only thing I could contribute was disparaging commentary. I don't feel like you were that critical of them. I absolutely was. I talked about them like they were somehow beneath me. Yes, you did occasionally offer an opinion on someone or something that showed me beyond the doors. But the fact that you were mostly detached from the events there is what allowed me to get the core of their characters. If you hadn't been in the position you were, so you could tell me the story the way you did, I never would have been able to talk to them into helping. You contributed more to than criticism. Your words weren't for nothing. They made this possible. It makes me feel a lot better, hearing that from you. And if you still regret your inaction, then make up for it now by taking action here and have faith that it will bear fruit in the next lives. I will. I wonder if Morgana might have a change of heart too. It's not like Mell wanted to bring her so much pain. He deeply regrets what he did, so maybe she won't bear quite as much resentment for him as when she learns that. Yes, I know what you're going to say. If that was enough to assure her, she wouldn't have held on to her hatred for all those hundreds of years. Still, though, I hope it does something for her, however small. As do I. It's, gotten pretty late. I'm gonna take Nellie back to the cottage. Okay. If you have some secret plans to get the other 2 keys, could you fill me in on it tomorrow? Sure. Also, could I get you another room? I could get you another room if you wanted. This one isn't the nicest. No, it's fine. I've come to realize I'm more at home in less comfortable environments. Michelle. Am I just imagining it, or is that as depressing as it sounded? That's not quite what I was going for. Well, anyway, if you're fine with it, suit yourself. Say, I've got one huge lingering question, if you wouldn't mind me enlightening me. Yes. Why did you go to such lengths for me? You seem to know Morgana, so I can understand why you would be fighting for her. But me, I had a part in putting her in that tower. You had every reason to hate me. So why would you help me? If this was all it took for me to hate someone, I would curse every last man, woman, and child in the world. I bear no animosity for you. And even if I did, you'd be committed to take action. That doesn't explain why you were so concerned about us. It all seemed like you actually cared about me and Nellie. But we're complete strangers. We just met today. Because some part of me couldn't think of you as strangers anymore. Huh? That's right. When he came this afternoon to talk, he didn't feel like a stranger to me either. It was weird, like he'd known me my whole life. So I made him a second brother. Your second brother? You're more than welcome to change the order, Nellie. Make him number 2 and me number 1. I wish I could join in and be big sister number 1. I'll have to think about it. After all, you might be number 1 material. Whoa! Why is this even up for consideration? I'm just kidding, dearest Mell. Oh. I'm still kind of confused, but anyway, I'm glad we could meet someone like you showed up. I've actually been praying every night for God to send someone who can get me out of this. I really am useless all on my own, constantly looking for someone to help me, unable to do anything myself. And trust me, I realize how pathetic that is. Now you must have a pretty good life to be able to see so proactively in the face of adversity. Oh, that's the clincher, huh? I bet you had everyone's respect, helping people in need. Had plenty of friends who had your back, and weren't tossed out by your family like I was. You must have been incredibly blessed. I'm jealous, really. Sorry, that came out of nowhere, I know. Well, I should be going. See you later. Good night, Michelle. Brother number 2. Good night. Michelle, he wasn't trying to be. Yes, I know. I just thought it was rather funny. I'm not taking a stand because I've been blessed, but because I've got nothing left to lose. I'll fight for Morgana because I understand what it's like to be tortured day after day. Having experienced the loss of my siblings, I didn't want those 2 of them to go through the same thing. If anything, it's those who have lost the most that are most likely to take action. I'm not sure if you've realized it or not, Michelle. But you've gotten to be a great deal more expressive since arriving in this era. I can't see your face, but I can hear it in your voice. and I can feel it in your presence. So I'm sure it's showing there too, making all sorts of faces I've never seen before. Some of the things you've lost, you seem to be getting back. So you can't say you've got nothing left to lose anymore. Promise me, you'll see all these new faces that you'll let me see all these new faces for myself someday. I will, I promise. If we can manage to destroy the mansion, that should release you from its darkness, and allow us to see each other once again. I trust you. I have faith we can do this. Wait, with the mansion's destruction, both our souls should be returned to their rightful places. Which would mean erased from existence. Giselle? What? I just thought. I sensed you grimacing. Wow, you felt that? What's the matter? Sorry, I didn't want to bring down the mood. It's just, well... And I know this is asking for the moon, but... I was just thinking it would be nice if you had a life you could go back to. If I did? Yeah, I mean, here you are, expressive as you've ever been, walking around outside, being around other people, talking to them after all the time in the mansion, and without a life of your own to go back to. I'm sorry. After seeing you behind the doors, and learning how cruel and inhumane your life was to you, I feel like the world could stand to do something good to make up for it. It's done all the good it needs to. I have someone who cares enough to lament my fate. What more could I ask for? Michelle. Thank you, Giselle. You're not the only one asking for the moon either. I wish I could have led a life with you as the person I am now. And for that, knowing I have no future, feels worse now than ever before. Alrighty. That's enough moping around for one night. We should start planning for tomorrow. Things are definitely looking up. If only it took one day to get Mell on our side. So let's keep it up and win over the other two. I would certainly like to, yes. Where'd a lot of confidence go? The other two won't be nearly as easy to convince as Mell. I'm not even sure if we'll be able to talk them into helping. We do have a pretty good idea of who the swordsman is in this for, though, the nun. So maybe we can get him through her, like we did today through Nellie and Mell. Maybe. Alright, then we'll start by approaching her tomorrow. Sounds like a plan. The Lord, though. It's him I'm not so sure about. I'm assuming he's from behind the third door. But we didn't run into anyone he was close with today. And Morgana's telling of the events of the harvest and festival, she only mentioned 5 people. Oh, I see. The Lord, the swordsman, Mell, Nellie, and the nun. There's one person that's unaccounted for. We just haven't run into them yet, that's all. If he's the man from the third door, I can't imagine she won't be here just to... It's doing the consonants now. In any event, tomorrow we talk to the nun. I only hope it goes well as it did today. You've got me. You don't have anything to worry about. Or, all things considered, you might not even need me. No, I wouldn't say that. You handled Mell pretty amazingly, though. I'm not going to lie, my heart pounded the whole time. I was afraid you were going to slip up and say something boneheaded. I did already. But you managed to keep it together, and I didn't have to come to the rescue. Well... I can make a book of quotes for your performance today. Oh, for the love of God, please don't. So, I'm not concerned at all. Say whatever you think is the right thing to say. I'm more than happy to sit back and watch. The more you pile the expectations, the more afraid it makes me of going on that to trip up. Besides, I don't think I could have done any of that without you. Why not? Well, my life was hardly as pride-worthy as Mell seemed to think. So I didn't really feel like I had the right to talk to him like that. But knowing you were there urging me on was what allowed me to act without hesitation. Yeah, the wire from my headphones like rubbed the back of my leg in a way that was like, it felt like something was running up my foot. Oh. So, thank you.
No thanks necessary. But if you say so, then you're more than welcome. I'm glad I could be of assistance, if just a little.
That you were.
Now, let's keep this momentum up tomorrow. It's getting a bit late, though. You should probably get some sleep. What is it?
I kind of don't want to sleep.
Why not?
For somewhat childish reasons.
Aw, are you sad you won't be able to hear my voice? Are you lonely, you poor, poor dear?
I am.
What? That's the last thing I expected you to admit to. Okay, well, do you want to stay up and talk for a little longer then? Not too long, though. You need the rest up for tomorrow. And who knows, maybe I'll show up in your dreams if you wish hard enough.
Oh, that was very sweet. The fact that I'm even able to talk with Giselle right now is a miracle and a blessing. So is it a vice for me to yearn for more, knowing I've already been granted such a great bounty? I want to see her face as much as she wants to see mine. She's infinitely more expressive than me, and I want a good long look at all those many expressions up close. I want more than her voice. I want her whole body. I want to feel her warmth. In this era, I have all 5 of my senses in full working order, as I did when I was alive. Giselle, though, she doesn't. She remains dead. As lively as she may be now, it's the one thing she did not get back. I truly wish she could have been here too. She would have certainly found more joy in her renewed life than me. And she certainly belongs under the sun far more than I do. But she, rather than me, was the one left behind in that realm of darkness. A fact that frustrates me immensely. In life, I would have considered her remark about seeing her in my dreams silly and I don't know what that is. But now, I very much hope it happens. I hope so too, man. 3 days until her death. Running out of time. Sorry, 2 days. Fetch, we're really running out of time. Wake up. Well, we have to figure out who's waking us up. I'm guessing it might be the nun. We'll have to see. But anyway, Fetch. That was a crazy story. It's such a great way to tell the stories, though. Like, we saw it from Morgana's perspective first, and it was hard not to hate Mell. Now, I still dislike him, but I see why. It really makes sense. It's terrible, but it makes sense. Man, that's the like, isn't that the theme of this whole game? Is like, it seems terrible at first, but in the end, you can't help but sympathize. So well written. So well written. But I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you guys are ready to move on to the beast. Hopefully I don't die again. I'll have to find out. But you know what? I have a feeling I have a better sense for how this is going to play out and what we should probably do. So, for now, we'll just have to wait till next week. So thank you guys so much for joining me today. Thank you so much for joining me on the channel. Having you here is awesome. I love hearing your thoughts and chatting with you. It's crazy to think how long this series has already been going. Well, I anticipated it being a shorter one, but I was proven very wrong, wasn't I? But anyway, I appreciate everything you guys have done. You guys are the best. You guys really are the best. Got some fun updates coming up on the channel in the next few months, so looking forward to that. But for now, until the next video you're watching me, I hope to see me next. I'll see you there.